Hey there, plant lovers, welcome back to our channel. We're thrilled to have you here, whether you're a seasoned green thumb or just starting to dip your toes into the wonderful world of botany. As always, we're here to help you nurture nature, one plant at a time. If you're not part of our community yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss out on our expert tips and hacks to help your plants thrive. Now let's get down to business. Today we have an exciting topic for you: how to water your orchids to make them grow faster. Orchids, with their delicate beauty and exotic appeal, can be a bit tricky to care for. But with the right watering techniques, you can coax them into blooming faster than you ever thought possible. So let's dive in, shall we? First things first, let's talk about the water you use. The type and temperature of water can significantly impact your orchid's health and growth speed. Orchids are a bit finicky, they have a strong preference for lukewarm water. So avoid shocking your plants with cold water straight from the tap. Instead, let it sit for a bit to reach a comfortable room temperature. Now here's a pro tip. Consider using filtered or rainwater. Why, you ask? Well, it's because orchids are sensitive souls. They don't take too kindly to the chemicals often found in tap water. If you live in a region where it's possible, collect rainwater for your orchids. They love it. If not, filtered water is your next best bet. Remember, when it comes to watering your orchids, every detail counts. Orchids are quite picky about the water they receive, so make sure to use the right one. Next up, let's discuss timing. Orchids are rhythm-loving plants and they thrive on a consistent watering schedule. To keep them happy and growing, it's best to water them in the morning. Why, you ask? Well, watering in the morning allows excess moisture to evaporate throughout the day, reducing the risk of root rot, a common orchid ailment. Now, how often should you water them? A good rule of thumb is to water your orchids about once a week during their active growing season. However, this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. You'll need to adjust your watering schedule based on factors like humidity and temperature. If you're living in a drier climate, your orchids may need a bit more water, and if it's cooler, they may need less. Remember, consistency and timing are key when it comes to watering your orchids, so set that watering schedule and stick to it. Now let's talk about the actual watering technique. Orchids, contrary to what some might think, aren't fans of having their roots constantly drenched in water. These lovely plants prefer a good, thorough soaking, followed by a period of drying out. This method mimics their natural habitat where they receive a hefty dose of water from rain, and then the sun dries out the environment. So when you're taking care of your orchids, ensure to give them a good soak. Water should be draining out from the bottom of the pot, signaling that the roots have received enough hydration. Following this, let the top inch or so of the potting mix dry out before you water them again. This drying out period is essential, as it allows the roots to breathe and prevents root rot. So remember, give them a good soak and then let them dry out. Another crucial factor in orchid care is humidity. Orchids, being natives of tropical regions, are accustomed to high humidity levels. This moisture-laden air provides the orchids with a constant source of water, encouraging their growth. It's important to remember that our homes often have considerably lower humidity levels, especially during winter or in air-conditioned spaces. So, how can we recreate these tropical conditions? One simple and effective method is using a humidity tray. This can be as basic as a tray filled with water and pebbles. Place your orchid pot on top of the pebbles, ensuring that the pot's bottom does not touch the water. As the water in the tray evaporates, it creates a humid microclimate around your orchid. Alternatively, you can invest in a humidifier to maintain a consistent humidity level in your home. This can be especially helpful if you're nurturing multiple orchids. Mimic their natural environment by maintaining optimal moisture levels. Lastly, remember to observe your orchids closely and adjust your watering routine accordingly. It's all about getting to know your plant. Much like people, every orchid has its own personality and needs. The key to fostering the fastest growth is to become attuned to these needs, and the best way to do this is by paying close attention to the condition of your orchid's leaves and roots. If you notice that the leaves are starting to wilt or turn yellow, this could be a sign that your orchid is getting too much water. On the other hand, if the roots appear shriveled or dry, your orchid might be thirsty for more moisture. Remember, the goal is to find a balance. It might take some trial and error, but with patience and observation, you'll soon discover the perfect watering routine for your orchid. Every orchid is unique, so pay attention and adjust as needed. And there you have it, folks, our top tips for watering orchids to promote faster growth and blooming. We've covered everything from the importance of using the right water and maintaining a consistent watering schedule, to perfecting your watering technique and creating an ideal humidity environment. Remember, every orchid is unique, so stay attentive and adjust your routine as needed. If you found this guide helpful, we invite you to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your fellow plant enthusiasts. We're all about fostering a community where we can learn and grow together, pun intended. If you have any watering tips of your own or any questions about what we've covered today, don't hesitate to drop a comment below. We're always eager to hear from you, and we're constantly looking for inspiration for our next video. So keep your green thumbs ready, and until our next plant rendezvous, happy growing!